The UN chief leaves Baghdad saying only God knows if there will be war. And President Bush condemns the Soviet crackdown on Lithuania. This is the CBS Evening News. Connie Chung reporting. Good evening. President Bush is back at the White House tonight, wrestling with not only an unsuccessful United Nations effort to end the Gulf crisis, but a crisis in Lithuania that's threatening U.S.-Soviet relations. The president said there is no justification for the Soviet crackdown in Lithuania. He condemned it. As for the Persian Gulf, only 2 days are left before the UN deadline, and the 11th hour attempt at peace by the United Nations Secretary General ended with the war clock ticking louder than ever. Leaving Baghdad, Perez de Cuellar said, God only knows if there will be peace or war. Alan Pizzi has more.
The UN peace mission ended on a note of uncertainty tonight. Secretary General Javier Perez de Cuellar said he now has a good understanding of the Iraqi position and was glad to have brought them some ideas of his own.
The point is that everybody wants peace and everybody wants to act in good faith in order to find a peaceful solution to the problem.
But he said only God knows if there will be war or peace.
The feeling among diplomats here is that the crisis has been badly handled by both sides. To avoid war, one said, there will have to be serious concessions. The Iraqis will have to make a move out of Kuwait, and Washington must accept linkage to the Palestinian issue. A diplomat friendly to the U.S. said congressional backing for war was, in his words, an historical decision to kill people who have no responsibility for the actions of their leader. And no one here expects President Saddam Hussein to give an inch before the deadline has expired. The Iraqi army newspaper reported today that Iraq was about to unveil, in its words, a new weapon of mass destruction that will astonish our enemies and fascinate our friends. It gave no details. The army, observers here claim, is fully prepared for a war. Troops in Kuwait, an informed source said, have enough stockpiles to fight for up to 11 days without resupply. Even so, Iraq's allies warn, peace is a better alternative for everyone.
You see, the war will not be only in Baghdad. This war, if it starts, it will be in the whole area.
And with the apparent failure of the de Cuellar mission, that possibility looms larger than ever. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Baghdad.
Perez de Cuellar will be in Paris tonight, Brussels tomorrow, and then will return to New York to brief the UN Security Council. The Soviet crackdown in Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, came in the darkness early this morning. Soviet military opening fire on citizens of the Baltic Republic that had declared independence in March. It was the harshest measure taken so far by the Soviet Union. Anthony Mason reports.
Soviet troops made their move for Lithuania's TV and radio station in the early hours of the morning, rolling tanks up to the doorstep, flooding the building with searchlights, and opening fire on some of those who tried to block their way. At least 13 people were killed in the attack, most from gunshot wounds. A man and a woman were reportedly crushed to death by oncoming tanks. When ambulances finished rushing through the capital city's darkened streets, more than 140 wounded filled the hospital wards. Over the crackling gunfire, a loudspeaker declared that the newly formed National Salvation Council, a communist group loyal to Moscow, was now in control. Brother Lithuanians, the announcer said, resist